Hello friends, this video on laws of motion part 19 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos from part 1 to part 18 before going ahead with part 19. Now let us look at problem 3. The problem goes like, a rubber bar is placed against a vertical wall by a spring. The elastic force of the spring is normal to the wall and equal to 200 Newton. Which force should be applied to the bar to initiate motion? Coefficient of friction for rubber over concrete is 0.75. So here we want to find out the force to initiate motion. That means the coefficient of friction we are talking about is nothing but the coefficient of static friction. Right? So the values which are given here are coefficient of static friction, which is equal to 0.75, and also the elastic force of the spring, which is normal to the wall, is equal to 200 Newton. Now let us draw the diagram. Let us suppose this is the wall, and let us suppose that this is a rubber bar. Let us suppose this is a rubber bar which is attached through a spring to this wall. Right? Now this would be the surface of contact. Therefore, the normal reaction force N will act along this direction. And the question says that the elastic force of the spring is normal to the wall and is equal to 200 Newton. That means the force which is normal to the wall, that means somewhere along this direction, that force is equal to 200 Newton. And we know the coefficient of static friction is 0.75. So which force should be applied to the bar to initiate motion? Now to initiate motion, the applied force Fa should be equal to the Fs maximum value, that means the maximum value of static friction. What is the maximum value of static friction? It is mu s into N. Now from this diagram, we can see that N, since the body is at present at rest, therefore N is equal to F, which is equal to 200 Newton. Therefore we can say mu s into 200. Now we'll put the value of mu s as 0.75 into 200, and it comes out to be 150 Newton. So this is the value of the force which is required to be applied in order to initiate motion. So if we want to move this body along this direction, then the force A, that is Fa, should be applied along this direction, and the friction was acting along this direction. Let us look at the fourth problem. A 100 kg box is sliding along the floor by a force of 700 Newton. So let us say this is a 100 kg box and this is the floor. The coefficient of friction between the box and the floor is 0.6 when the box is sliding. Find the acceleration of the box. So that means the box is already sliding on the floor. The box is already in motion. Now, the forces which will act on this box is mg, vertically downwards, normal reaction force, vertically upwards. The applied force, that means it is sliding, the box is sliding along the floor by a force of 700 Newton. That means the force which is acting on the box, that force Fa, is equal to 700 Newton. And the coefficient of friction between the box and the floor is 0.6. That means along this direction will act the kinetic friction because this box is already moving. So what are the values which are given here? Mass is equal to 100 kgs. Force is equal to 700 Newton. Coefficient of friction, that is mu k, is equal to 0.6. We have to find out the value of acceleration. Now we know from definition of kinetic friction that Fk is equal to mu k into n. From this free body diagram, we know that n is equal to mg because there is no motion in the vertical direction. So mu k into mg. Also, we know that there is a motion in the horizontal direction towards right. That means the net force, if I write the equation of motion along the horizontal direction, that would be Fa minus Fk. This is the net force which is acting along horizontal direction. This will be equal to mass of the body into the acceleration produced in the body. So from this we can find that acceleration is equal to Fa minus Fk divided by m. Now what is the value of Fa? That is 700 Newton. What is the value of Fk? Fk is nothing but mu k into mg. So what is the value of mu k? 0.6 into m, that is 100, into g, that is 9.8. This divided by m. M is 100. So we calculate this and we get 700 minus 588 divided by 100. So we get 1.12 meter per second square. So this is the value of the acceleration. So in this case also, what did we do? We drew the free body diagram. Now along the vertical direction, this is the equation of motion, and along the horizontal direction, this is the equation of motion. So this is the equation of motion in the horizontal direction. This is the equation of motion in the vertical direction. So we wrote both the equation of motion and we were able to find out the value of acceleration. Problem 5. A homogeneous chain of length L lies on a table. What is the maximum length, small l, of the part of the chain hanging over the table if the coefficient of friction between the chain and the table is mu? This is basically mu, the chain remaining at rest with the table. First of all, you try to visualize the situation. It says that you have a chain such that it lies on the table, some part of it lies on the table and the rest of it is hanging down the table. Let us suppose this is the table and the chain is lying over it somewhat like this. And the remaining part of the chain is hanging down the table. Right? Let us suppose this is the situation. Now the entire length of the chain is capital L. And the question says that what is the maximum length, small l, of the part of the chain that is hanging over the table. That means let us suppose that the part of the chain which is hanging down the table is small l. Let us say this part is small l. So if the part which is hanging down is small l, and when we know that the total length of the chain is capital L, then the length of this part would be capital L minus small l. So length of this part would be capital L minus small l. Now let us suppose that rho is the mass per unit length of the chain. Let us suppose this rho is mass per unit length of the chain. Now it says, the question says that the chain is homogeneous. That means the mass per unit length, that is rho, will remain same throughout the chain. Homogeneous means that the density will remain the same throughout. So rho, that is mass per unit length, will remain the same throughout the chain. Now rho is equal to m by L, or rho is equal to, or rho into L is equal to m. Now considering this relation, we can say that weight of the hanging part. What would be the weight of the hanging part? Weight of the hanging part, generally what is the weight of any object which is towards the ground? That is generally mg. Now what would be the mass of the hanging part? The mass of the hanging part would be rho into L into g. because the density is rho for all the parts, whether it is this part or it is this part. So here the weight of the hanging part would be mg. Now mg for this part, m for this part would be rho into L. So the weight of the hanging part is rho Lg. Now similarly, we'll calculate the weight of the part over the table, the part which is lying over the table. So for this part which is lying over the table, this will again become mg. Let us suppose m dash g. So what will be the mass of this part? It would be rho into length of this part is capital L minus small l into g. So we calculated the weights of both the hanging parts as well as the part over the table. Now when if the chain is at equilibrium, that is if the chain is stably lying in this position, in that case R, which will be acting upward, should be equal to the weight of the chain over the table. I mean, there is no vertical motion of the chain. So we can consider, see, this chain is in contact with this surface. So there will be a reaction force which will be acting somewhat like this. At the same time, the weight which we calculated here, let us say W2. This W2 will act like this. Correct? So for equilibrium, because there is no motion in the vertical direction, so for this part, we will say that R is equal to W2, or we can say that R is equal to rho into capital L minus small l into G. Similarly, we can say that the weight which is acting for this part of the chain, there is a weight which is acting in the downward direction. That weight is equal to W1. For this part of the chain, W1 is acting downwards. So this W1 is balanced by the frictional force, because there is a frictional force which is opposing the movement along this direction. So we can say that frictional force F will be equal to W1, which is equal to rho Lg. So this is my first equation and this is my second equation. Now we'll take into consideration the first equation and second equation. What we will do, we will divide first equation by second equation. So what do we get? Now here we knew that F is equal to, F is nothing but mu into R, that is the normal reaction. So mu R is equal to rho Lg. Now we'll divide first equation by second equation. So the first equation is R divided by the second equation's left hand side, that is mu R. And considering the right hand side, the first equation, it is rho L minus L into G divided by rho Lg. So now we get 1 by mu is equal to capital L minus small l divided by small l. So from this we find that L is equal to mu capital L minus mu small l, which in turn comes out to be small l is equal to mu L divided by mu plus 1. So we find that the part of or the length of the chain which is hanging down the table, that comes out to be this value, and this is what was desired according to the question. It wanted us to calculate the maximum length of the part of the chain that would be hanging over the table. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.